Hi, I'm Joshua Whitfield, and this is my closet in my parents' house. Yes, I'm in a closet talking about wrestling in my parents' house. Oh dear. This is Wrestling Wednesdays. See how I did that like Paul Heyman when he used to point his hand in the air and say things that made it seem like it was bigger than it really was because he's Paul Heyman. I came up with that thing on my own, so that makes it important, I hope. I'm doing this because I love wrestling. Why not make wrestling a part of your everyday struggle? At least one day out of the week, you can give wrestling fans what they all love. An opportunity to judge somebody else. I'm your guy. Best way to get people to know you is to debate. Debate about greatest matches of all time. Number 3. WrestleMania 19. Okay, I know. How can you put a whole pay-per-view on the top 10 greatest of all times? I gotta work on these voices. But because I can't choose just one match from that show. Because to me, I know a lot of people may not agree, but to me, WrestleMania 19 was the greatest WrestleMania of all time, okay? I don't know why this isn't on more lists, but just think about it for a second. The night started off with over Rey Mysterio, and Matt Hardy was the Cruiserweight champion. Alright? He was the Cruiserweight champion. A lot of people may be like, what? Exactly. It was a great match. And it already, Matt came in, had to do the whole build-up thing of he needed to lose weight to be in the Cruiserweight division. Then like I said, going into it, you're already thinking, this is Rey Mysterio's time. It's WrestleMania. Those are the feel-good moments where, I'm doing a little Millie Rock. Those are feel-good moments. And, Rey Mysterio was going to win, but he didn't. So this put Matt Hardy in a higher status than he had ever been at that point in his career. Then you go into The Undertaker going against A-Train and The Big Show. This match wasn't, oh my God, but think about it. It's Undertaker, undefeated streak, against two of the biggest men he's ever fought, and he was by himself when originally it was supposed to be a tag team match. So I like that already. They're making him fight by himself, putting all the odds against him, and like, oh my God, he might actually lose. And then for what it was worth, it just made The Undertaker look even better because he actually put on a great fight against those guys. And in my opinion, it was A-Train's greatest match, and that's saying a lot. He had a match with The Undertaker. And then Nathan Jones came out, did a little karate kick that I probably would have broke my ankle trying to do, and The Undertaker won. And this is also the last time we saw Undertaker as the American Badass at a WrestleMania. He had the American flag, and Limp Bizkit was there. People, come on. In my opinion, the reason why we have a Divas Revolution as we speak, or Evolution, wherever we're at, Lita, Victoria, and Jazz had an amazing triple threat match. They were given an opportunity to take WrestleMania by storm, and they did it. They actually had like a good 20 minutes, I think. Maybe it was just long because I was staring at Trish the whole time. But no, it was a really good match. I mean, Victoria and Jazz are highly underrated on the list of greatest women wrestlers of all time. And Trish won. And that's always good, right? And then you got number 4. SmackDown Tag Team titles at this time. Team Angles, Shelton Benjamin, Charlotte Haas. Chris Benoit, Rhino. And Los Guerreros, Eddie Guerrero, and Chavo Guerrero. And any other pay-per-view, these guys would have been the main event. They were on number 4. And it was the workhorses putting on another great match. You didn't really know what was going to happen. And it was a great match. I mean, highly underrated. I just named 4 matches that on any other card today would be close to darn near main eventing. this was just the first 4 matches at this pay-per-view. I haven't even got to the final 5, and we all know the final 5, okay? You got, for the first time in not WrestleMania history, but wrestling history, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Now, how can you have a top 10 list without Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 19? There is no way I was going to have this list without that match. But I also knew that these 5 matches could have took on this whole list. Shawn Michaels and Jericho stole the show. Nuff said. And that was just the 5th match of the night. Following that was Triple H and Booker T for the World Heavyweight title. In many cases today, you have a match like Shawn Michaels versus Jericho, you can't follow that, okay? Perfect example. After AJ Styles and John Cena SummerSlam was Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. Point made. Triple H and Booker T actually followed this match to a perfection, and it made you believe that for the first time, the man named Booker T was gonna finally get his just due, and he didn't. But it was okay when you're 3 or 13 in my case at that time period, because you just wanted to see a good match, and it was. It wasn't a good end because Triple H won, but at the same time, Team DX forever. So either way, I was okay. Then following that, 20 years in the making, people. Vince McMahon versus Hogan. First time ever. Only time ever. And think about it. When you look at this card on paper, that match was not supposed to be good. But you can't sit there, because I'm sure you're sitting, and tell me that those 2 old farts didn't have a classic. You can't sit there and say that. There was everything you could ever ask for in that type of match. And wow, it was really good. We even got an appearance by Piper. Sure, he didn't look like he should have been there, but it didn't matter because the match was great. Vince was bleeding, Hogan was bleeding. There was this moment where Vince literally climbed the ladder and did a leg drop on top of Hogan through a table. And I know he was like 57 at this time. Hogan wasn't that far from that too. Wow. Why don't we talk about that match more? I don't understand. But it was great. And then it was the end where Vince was bleeding and Shane was there, and he gave Hogan that middle finger. When you're 13 years old, no, I wasn't 13. I'm giving myself more age than I should have. I was 10. When you're 10 years old, stuff like that just makes you go, now this is why I love wrestling.